Hello everyone, welcome to another video in the series Everything You Should Know About Immortal. Today we are going to look into Yi Seung-Gye, founder of Joseon. He's a very old Immortal that can still be useful in today's gameplay. I wouldn't say he's a meta Immortal, but his ultimate has potential. But since his ultimate only hit like 1 or 2 Immortals per proc, I don't think he will be relevant in today's meta where you need AoE damage or AoE attacks from the immortals to be able to be useful in this current meta. Now, how do we get Yi Seung-Gye? We can obtain him in the arena, market, summoning hall, harbor, and random immortal fragments. In the arena, I believe you can buy them in the arena shop from like each seasons, depending on which gonna be the season rewards. And the market, you can pop up quite often with the the soul stones, the purple stones you can buy them with, and the summoning hole pops up there as well. And random immortal fragments it pops up quite often. And of course, you need 60 fragments to unlock Yi Seung-Gye, and you need total of 960 fragments to unlock his artifact slot. But after the update, you're gonna need a lot more fragments, and he will be one of the easiest to actually upgrade the specializations that was introduced to us during the last patch. And yeah, hopefully if you guys want to go with Yi Seung-Gye, you can definitely do that because his ultimate is not bad. It's just that it hit only 2 immortals, where if you compare to Genghis Khan, it hits all 4, which is better in this current meta. Now let's take a look at Yi Seung-Gye's stats and ultimate skill. Here I have Yi Seung-Gye at level 53. I haven't upgraded his gears or boosts or anything, so you can see basically raw level stats. And to me, what really caught my eye is the physical attack and the critical hit. I think they are very high for somebody like Yi Seung-Gye. I think it's higher than Genghis Khan, the base stats for critical hit. And the energy region is not that bad either, so in my opinion, it's pretty good immortal to work when you are at the beginning of the game, and you can later transition to Genghis Khan or somebody like maybe different team afterwards, but it really depends. And I think he would have a good potential to be a very good immortal if the game did some minor adjustment to his kit, but that's only my opinion. And let's take a look at his ultimate skill, Heavenly Conqueror, or Conquering. Inflict, transfer to 2 random enemy units and transfer 20% physical and magical attack and physical magical defense to yourself, and then cause physical damage rate of 500 to those units. Transfer lasts for 10 seconds. So this is what I mean, right? You only hit 2 random immortals. It can be random, and then you transfer the 20% of the physical, magical attack and defense to yourself, which in my opinion is very good, skill in theory, and it can work really well, especially for example if you're meeting the likes of mega tanks or mega attacker, which have like 12,000 attack, and you transfer like 20% of that to yourself. I think that's going to be very, very good for Yi Seung-Gye. And imagine if he had like 12,000 attack already and you gain another 20% to that from enemies. I think that's going to has potential to be very, very good, right? And also his damage rate, 500%. That's not bad at all. That's actually one of the better ones among the archers. So this is what I'm trying to say, like when I said that he had potential if we need a little bit of adjustment, like instead of having transferred 2 random units, enemy units, you can have like 3 or 4, then I think Yi Seung-Gye is gonna be very, very good immortal. And like always, let's take a look at Yi Seung-Gye's ultimate. in the arena. I don't know if I'm gonna win here, but at least we can test his ultimate skill so we can see how it looks like and see how it actually works. So I'm gonna actually 2 times the speed up whenever his ultimate comes. So you see that arrow that come here, it basically hit Leonidas and Zenobia. This is like what I mean when he had potential. If that arrow could actually hit 3 immortals from, Leonidas, Zenobia, and Cleopatra, that would have been a very good thing. But since he only hit, the front 2 immortals like this, boom, boom, right? I think, in my opinion, they missed the potential of it. Like, the arrow is very nice, it's very strong, 500% is very good. I might, in the future, I might play around with my immortals a little bit and then see how it works out. And when I get his artifact maxed out and start working on his artifact, I might think maybe I should try this immortal again and build a team around him so he become a carry, because until now he has been basically like a support immortal for Genghis Khan in the lightning or in the early game, where probably Merlin is in your water, in your earth, where he become like a secondary support immortal. Now let's take a look at the artifact of Yi Seung-Gye. Heavenly Conquering now transfer target stats for 15 seconds instead of 10, so you're adding 5% into that, which I think is going to be very, very good. And from what I saw earlier, I think he has potential, and I think for the next couple of weeks, I will try to get his artifact, and I will try to test him for you guys properly in the current meta team, like with the buffet, with the double tank meta, stuff like that. But for now, I do not have his artifact ready. I do not have anything of that kind of stuff ready. So I could show you guys like a team that I used to run him with, and also a team where he can carry the march as well. And of course, you want to go with the annihilations. That is the most common sense for Yi Seung-Gye, with a higher crit rate than usual, in my opinion. So that's going to be very good for him. And yeah, let's take a look at his skill set. Yi Seung-Gye's best skills, in my opinion, are these. Free to play, I would definitely run one aura. Either you can have weakness, you can have sacrifice, you can have malice, but in my opinion, in an early game, or if you have Genghis Khan available, you should run him with assist and absolute defense. Sometimes fighting master, and if you want him to run like, instead of having like a support damage dealer, you can run him as an damage dealer as well, like secondary, which you're gonna have Garrod, and you're gonna have the other skill, which I can't remember right now, but it's very similar to Garrod. And if you are having 3 skills and you really want to run him as your main damage dealer, which I'm gonna show you guys in a minute as well, is gonna have purifications. I think is gonna be good on him as like a 3rd skill into the double damage dealer skills, which is gonna be Blade Vortex and Executioner. Sometimes you're gonna use the Battle Stance, but I don't really recommend him there, because I think, I don't know, depending on your setup of your march, Battle Stance can work well, but in most of the time, I don't think you want to have Yi Seung-Gye to be, don't do anything for the first 20 seconds. And of course, your Chaos Storm, which I think gonna be very good as a support skill for Yi Seung-Gye in the lightning, where he can get damage reduction for example, Khan or Hammurabi. So yeah, let's take a look in the game how I would set up his march. Now that we are in the game again, let's take a look at the setup that I picked for Yi Seung-Gye. Here I set up him as at support for Genghis Khan, which is the most common march you're gonna see in the Lightning, especially in the early game to the mid game. And I think a lot of people transition from him to maybe Hammurabi, so you're probably gonna see Hammurabi here instead. But this march, in my opinion, is very strong. But let's do it a little bit twist to it. I'm gonna add Theodora instead of Khan, and then we have Yi Seung-Gye as main damage dealer, and see how we actually do against gnomes. And let's go here. And I actually have him in my IB league because I want to test him, and he's doing all right. Recently, the other have better builds than me. I was just testing a lot of skills, so a lot of the times it can be like this. Okay, that was not my lightning march, but here it can be like this. Keep in mind my skills is not that good, and IB league is not where to test them. But if you do, I think is doing fine for now. And you can see here that Yi Seung-Gye is doing some damage. Of course, Toxin Barrier is going to do a lot here, but if you take away Toxin Barrier, the damage is there. I think it's possible for you to play around Yi Seung-Gye if you have maxed out artifacts. And as I showed you guys earlier in this video with the testing of his ultimate or showcasing of his ultimate, how it works, if the arrow actually hits the backliners here, I think it can be very, very good, and I can see why a lot of people want to use him, and I will definitely try him out in the KVK, not this next KVK, but the next after that again, once I finish try to get his artifact and stuff up and upgrade a little bit. So it would be very interesting in my opinion, because the arrows looks to be like a real deal to me. And let's take a look at another one so we can see how consistent he is with the damage. And let's see here, a bit of waiting time. So yep, there we go. And you can see here the damage is very consistent, and I believe he would have been very good if it wasn't for Genghis Khan around, or his ultimate actually hits 2 or actually 3 or more. But since he only hit 2, it can be very randomized, and the RNG in the game is very RNG. Sometimes you're gonna do like a lot of damage, sometimes you're not gonna do anything. So yeah, in my opinion, this build can be something to play around, or if you want to flex him into, for example, water, that works that should work okay, I would say, especially in the early game where you don't have a lot of immortals, right? But this can flex into okay. It can be the main damage in the lightning if you choose to go that early. And I'm assuming a lot of people will probably have something like march like this in the beginning. You take away this one, and then you have these 3 core immortals at the beginning, and then you're probably trying to get either Genghis Khan, and I think King Emperor is kind of working well there as well, or could work there as well. But now you're basically playing around the Yi Seung-Gye alone. So let's check it out. So unfortunately, the last report I had Tokugawa on all the skills, so that shouldn't be there. So we couldn't showcase probably. So see here, lose a little bit more due to no skills, but here you're gonna carry, and you're just gonna have Yi Seung-Gye as a secondary damage dealer. This is kind of like the thing a lot of people might go towards during the beginning of the game. So yeah, that's definitely something you can do, but I think in about like a month or two, I might try something else. Like I might try something like this, and then I might try something like this and this. I think this can work pretty good, although there are some skills on the immortals right now, and I think this comp can actually be something if Yi Seung-Gye manage to do the damage needed. So let's see about that. Okay, so he's doing all right, and you can see here he's actually doing pretty good, not too bad to be honest. And of course, the toxin barrier, normal attacks with being maxed out and everything, definitely gonna overshadow Yi Seung-Gye a little bit. But in my opinion, Yi Seung-Gye has potential to be a very good immortal, but he just needs a little bit of adjustment, a little bit help. Then I think he can be a good immortal to use for the mid game and transition into the late game. So yeah, thanks you guys for watching. See you guys in the next video.